Alternative history of Anunnaki. Was Gilgamesh a giant Nephilim? In the world of ancient history, the subject of Anunnaki has brought a new aspect to see the universe, a theory of the visit of highly advanced civilization to the earth, which created the human race as largely reliant upon translations of Sumerian cuneiform tablets supposedly made by ancient astronaut theorist Zecharia Sitchin. He purported a narrative according to which a group of intelligent beings known as the Anunnaki, from Nibiru, infiltrated the DNA of prehistoric humans, Homo erectus. In his book collection, The Complete Earth Chronicles, built the foundation of ancient aliens or gods, sky gods, that is behind the advancement humans achieved in the previous centuries. According to Sitchin, Anunnaki modified the human DNA of prehistoric humans 450,000 years ago by mixing their genes with them and putting them into labor for mining Earth's natural resources, such as gold. He said that planet Nibiru has a long elliptical orbit and comes near the Earth every 3,600 years. And further, he stated that the planet was inhabited by technologically advanced human-like species taller than us. Around 450,000 years ago, they got attracted by the gold reserves in Southeast Africa. So who were the Anunnaki, and how does their representation in ancient world differ from the mainstream media of ancient astronauts? It's claimed that the Anunnaki, meaning princely offspring or offspring of An, are the Sumerian deities who came down to earth from heaven. They are a pantheon of gods who are the children of sky god Anu and earth goddess Ki. Now remember that the Native Americans called their sky gods Anu as well, even though they lived half a world away from Sumeria. Now ancient scholars such as William Clouser explained that the Anunnaki were more like demigods. He writes, some authorities question whether Ki was regarded as a deity since there is no evidence of a cult and the name appears only in a limited number of Sumerian creation texts. Samuel Noah Kramer identifies Ki with Sumerian mother goddess Nin-Hursag and claims that they were originally the same figure. She later developed into the Babylonian and Akkadian goddess Antu, consort of the god Anu, from Sumerian An. If this is the case, the Anunnaki beings could be the creation of the sky god Anu, an immortal female, and this similar concept of half-divine beings born from union of gods and mortals can be traced back to biblical texts where they're known as the Nephilim. And we know that, of course, the ancient Greek gods were supposedly sky gods, sky beings, extraterrestrials, and they also had demigods with their interactions with humans. Now, in the biblical text, Nephilims from Genesis 6:4, it's known that Nephilims were the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. The word Nephilim is found in the Bible 2 times. The first is in Genesis 6:1-6, and then again in Numbers 13:33. Scholars and commentators translate the word Nephilim as giants or fallen ones. In the book of Enoch, there is a mentioning of 200 fallen angels known as the Watchers, led by an individual named Samiaza, descended upon Mount Hermon, mountain cluster that exists between Syria and Lebanon, where they swore an oath to father lineages with human women, and later, with the union of these angels and human women, great giants were born. Hebrew texts refer to the powerful beings born to the Watchers as being Nephilims. According to Belgian scholar Edward Lipinski, Mount Hermon was known to the ancient world not only as of the secret dwelling place of the Anunnaki, it was the mountain of the divine assembly of the northwest Semitic god El, the creator god of their pantheon. Additionally, his interpretation of the Old Babylonian version of the Gilgamesh epic suggests that the Sumerian king journeyed to Mount Hermon. From the Ugarit epic of Gilgamesh, he explored everywhere the seats of power. He knew the totality of wisdom about all things. He who traveled the distant road to utter Napisti, who crossed the ocean, the wide sea, as far as the sunrise, he brought back tidings from the antediluvian age. Now, interestingly, there are several ancient sources. For example, the Book of Giants version found at Qumran, the Dead Sea Scrolls, which suggests that Gilgamesh himself was a giant demigod. According to the Gilgamesh epic at Ugarit, Gilgamesh would surpass other kings in bodily stature. He was estimated to have been between 16 to 18 feet tall. World History Encyclopedia writes, many literary texts, most famously the Epic of Gilgamesh, contemplate the meaning of death, recount the fate of the dead in the netherworld, and describe mourning rites. In other words, the rites of grief. Their texts were probably composed in order to be recited during religious rites involving ghosts or dying gods. Of these ritual texts, the most notable are Gilgamesh, Enkidu, and the Netherworld, Ishtar's descent to the Netherworld, and Nergal and Eresh Kigal. From the cuneiform tablets found in the ruins of Nippur, it was discovered that there are 7 Anunnaki who reside within the underworld and serve as judges. In Inanna's descent into the netherworld, they fastened their eyes of death upon her, causing her to perish. The Anunnaki deities are associated with the knowledge of the world before the Great Flood and were later assigned roles in the underworld. There are similar stories about them in Genesis chapter 6, 1 Enoch, and other extra-biblical texts. This is On Hows and Wives by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. My Patreon account, the daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.